shutdown. Good?
Thanks to their very nature, video games are far less reliant on story and storytelling than other entertainment media. But even so, a solid protagonist in a game can elevate the experience in so many ways. Having a well-written, well-deployed, and well-acted character in the leading role can pull everything together in wonderful ways, and get players invested heavily in the story. And there have been quite a few of those in games over the years. Here, that's exactly what we'll be talking about, as we go through what we feel are the 20 best video game protagonists of all time. 20. Joker, Persona 5. Persona protagonists generally don't have an awful lot of personality, but Persona 5's Joker really broke the mold. He speaks very rarely, but when he does, he steals the show. His brief dialogue, his character design, and his excellent narrative arc throughout the game easily make him one of the coolest JRPG protagonists in recent memory. Tied-in media outside of games only cements that further, but even if you're looking exclusively at Persona 5 itself, it's hard not to be enamored by him. 19. Max Payne from Max Payne. Max Payne from Max Payne. Titular hero Max Payne is easily the best character to have come out of Remedy games to date, which is really saying something. Sure, his face has changed radically over the years, so it's hard to pin down a specific look for him, but his personal arc throughout the 3 games, his grim and dour style, and his classic action hero style abilities make him instantly likable. 18. Alex Vance, Half-Life.
Dr. Freeman, I presume.
When a character supplants a series' main protagonist and becomes the more compelling personality, you realize there's something special there. Sure, Gordon Freeman hasn't been much of a character for most of the series, but Alex Vance instantly became a fan favorite when she first made an appearance in Half-Life 2. From then on, she's grown increasingly important to the series and its larger story, and even stepped into the leading role in 2020's Half-Life Alyx. 17. NIKO BELLIC, Grand Theft Auto 4. Rockstar has a knack for creating some of the best video game protagonists we've ever seen, and Grand Theft Auto has had more than a few that could easily make it into the list. In that group, however, it's hard to look past NIKO BELLIC. He obviously has the fact that he's quite unique going for him, but the way that his story unfolds throughout GTA 4 lends him incredible depth as well. Watching him come to grips with his past and struggling to start fresh in a city that's hell-bent on dragging him back down to the depths makes for one of the best GTA stories to date. 16. Johnny Cage, Mortal Kombat. Yes, some find him annoying, and yes, there are other Mortal Kombat characters who are more central to the series' story than Johnny Cage, but we can't help but love him every time he's on screen. His boisterous personality, his abrasive sense of humour, and of course his brutal moves, which includes his finishers, are just some of the things that have made him one of the best and most recognisable Mortal Kombat characters to date. 15. William B.J. Blazkowicz, Wolfenstein. William B.J. Blazkowicz, aka Terror Billy, wasn't much of a character for a long time. From Wolfenstein's early beginnings right up until less than a decade ago. In fact, he was entirely forgettable. Machine Games, however, turned him into something of an icon. Excellent performances by Brian Bloom and top-notch characterization across the new and rebooted Wolfenstein series have made him one of the most compelling Nazi-killing machines across all media. 14. Cloud Strife, Final Fantasy.
Hey, are you okay?
I'm fine.
Here, this is for you.
Huh? A flower?
That's right. It's a gift.
Very rarely is a video game icon also a great character. Usually, the instantly recognizable faces associated with the medium are little more than that. Final Fantasy VII's Cloud Strife, however, is a different story. His first appearance in the original FF7 would have been enough in and of itself to give him a decent shout as one of the series' best protagonists, but with every subsequent appearance, he's grown in prominence and stature. After the Final Fantasy VII Remake, it's hard not to include him in a list such as this one. 13. Sam Fisher, Splinter Cell.
But now he was coming back as the hunter, as the enemy, as the one thing he'd never thought he'd be.
Sam Fisher is the classic spy. A gruff soldier, extremely capable regardless of whether he's relying on a vast array of gadgets or purely his own brain and brawns, and a textbook example of a lone wolf. Throughout the Splinter Cell series, he's proven time and again that his badassery knows no limits, and though there have of course been dips, it's impossible not to think of him as a near-perfect protagonist for a spy series. And of course, the excellent performances of Michael Ironside have only made him more iconic. 12. Marcus Phoenix, Gears of War.
Here, put this on. You'll need it.
You could get in a lot of trouble for doing this.
Not anymore. Things have changed. We better go.
What about the other prisoners? You can't just leave them here.
They're gone. Hoffman pardoned everybody.
Is that right?
Welcome back to the army, soldier.
Some find it all too easy to dismiss Marcus Phoenix as a generic, gruff military hero, and on a surface level, there is some merit to that argument. But across the entire series, he's exhibited more depth and nuance than some would think. He's a multi-dimensional character whose raw strength is equaled only by his love and loyalty for his friends, and by his relentlessness when he sets his mind on something. Even now, when he's become more of a background character and a new generation has stepped forward into the limelight, Marcus Phoenix steals the show in every scene that stars him.
Hey.
Jill Valentine, Resident Evil.
I haven't done good, Authority. Why? Are you worried about teammates? Or something else?
Resident Evil has a laundry list of amazing protagonists that series fans are obsessed with. But ironically, one of the characters that has been most criminally underutilized by the franchise remains the absolute best. Jill Valentine has been nothing short of amazing since the series' inception, and she's only improved with each new outing. Resident Evil 5 was a bit of a misstep, obviously, and it's baffling that she hasn't made a single appearance since then in the series' chronology. But hey, at least we got the RE3 remake in 2020, where she very predictably reminded us why Resident Evil fans love her so much.
You're a fool. You're a fool! If I die, you'll never find out the truth.
I don't mind a little detective work.
10. Master Chief, Halo. Obviously the Master Chief was going to be in here. When you think of video games, his is one of the first faces, or helmets, that pops into your head. And it helps, of course, that he's more than just a recognizable design. His arc has grown more complex and nuanced with each new game in the series, and the consistently amazing performances of Steve Downes have always been right there to lend him incredible weight and gravitas. The fact that he started out as a bit of a blank canvas in Combat Evolved and has by now grown into a fully fleshed out and compelling character will never fail to impress us. 9. Geralt of Rivia, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. When The Witcher 3 exploded in popularity, so did its leading man, Geralt of Rivia. His deadpan delivery, the humanity hiding beneath his rough exterior, his utter devotion to the people he cares about, and of course just how flat out cool he is. All of this and more instantly turned him into a worthy protagonist. 8. Clementine, Telltale's The Walking Dead. Even if you take all the Walking Dead comics, TV shows, and games into account, Clementine is still probably one of the franchise's best characters to date. Starting out as a scared, helpless girl in the Telltale series' first season, she grew over time into a hardened and capable survivor, but through it all never lost the heart that makes her who she is. From beginning to end, she was brought to life by excellent growth, development, and of course, amazing performances by Melissa Hutchinson. 7. Joel Miller, The Last of Us.
Go and pull the bolt back. Grab it right there. Just hug it. There you go. And as soon as you fire, you're gonna want to get another round in there quick. Listen to me. If I get into trouble down there, you make every shot count.
What makes a character interesting more than anything else is flaws, and boy does Joel have a whole bucket load of those. That, of course, is what makes him so compelling. One could very easily argue that his actions effectively make him a bad guy, but it's that constant pull between his villainous side and his unflinching fatherly love that gave him so much depth and complexity in the space of a single game, not to mention a brilliant performance by Troy Baker. The fact that he's completely deserving of a spot so high on a list such as this one, in spite of being one of the most recent characters in here, should tell you all that you need to know about the impact Joel has made.
I don't think I can ever forgive you for that. But I would like to try.
I'd like that.
Six. Kazuma Kiryu, Yakuza. You wouldn't expect the central protagonist in a series of crime dramas about organized underworld syndicates would be likable, much less wholesome, but that's exactly what Kazuma Kiryu of Yakuza fame is. A character who has shown up over the course of the entire Yakuza series in a single, continuous narrative arc, at some point you'd think that his whole shtick would begin to get old. After all, how much can you stretch the whole nice guy in a ruthless world, fish out of water, trying to do the right thing in the face of difficult odds thing, before it starts to feel contrived? Arguably, the Yakuza series' greatest triumph is that. Even when the actual games and their stories start to feel ridiculous, Kiryu never does. He always remains wholly grounded, wholly likable, and wholly, well, wholesome. By the end of his story in Yakuza 6, he is every bit the incredible and well-meaning naive fool who found himself in too deep at the start of his long tale in Yakuza 0, and somehow he is that without ever once stretching the bounds of plausibility. 5. Ezio Auditore. Starting as a brash young man in the early hours of the game and ultimately evolving into a wise lead character, Ezio remains a stellar leading man throughout his stay time. A satisfying and meaningful growth and character development, and a magnetic personality, he has everything you could possibly want in a good protagonist. 4. Commander Shepard, Mass Effect.
We'll fight and win without it. I won't let fear compromise who I am.
Jane Shepard or John Shepard, Jennifer Hale or Mark Meir, regardless of which version of Commander Shepard you're talking about, this is a character that will go down as one of gaming's best ever protagonists. BioWare struck the perfect balance between player agency and predefined characterization with Shepard, and the Commander's legacy only grew more and more with each new installment in the trilogy. From doggedly pulling the galaxy together in the face of insurmountable odds, to giving epic speeches, to, of course, punching annoying reporters who refuse to take a hint, Commander Shepard has given us countless reasons to be as enamored as we are. 3. Solid Snake, Metal Gear.
Who am I, really? No one quite knows who or what they are.
The memories you have and the role you were assigned are burdens you had to carry. It doesn't matter if they were real or not. That's never the point.
Solid Snake's life was never his own from the moment he was born. He came into the world as a clone, the product of a shady science experiment in a power struggle. From then on, every step of the way, he was manipulated and lied to by the Patriots. He faced ridiculous obstacles from beginning to end, and he died all too young because of circumstances that were completely out of his hand. In spite of everything, however, Snake never gives up, never loses his moral compass, never turns his back on the people he cares about. He's the only person in the Metal Gear franchise who truly understood the boss's will, and for all of these reasons and more, he is a true hero. 2. Kratos, God of War. Honestly, if we were making this list pre-2018, Kratos wouldn't have been anywhere in here. For the longest time, he was a one-dimensional angry dude, and cared only about his vengeance, which is a primary motivation that can quickly wear thin, especially if it's highlighted over the course of 6 games. God of War 2018, however, turned him into an actual character, and did it with great aplomb. It gave him layers and complexity. It forced him to face his horrifying past, and it forced him to actually try and fight his many demons.
But there is one unavoidable truth you will never escape. You cannot change. You will always be a monster.
I know. But I am your monster no longer.
One. Arthur Morgan, Red Dead Redemption 2.
When the time comes, you help them.
What do you mean?
I mean it. Help them escape. When I... You know, you and me, we're more ghosts than people. But them, they could...
I know.
There was never any doubt in our minds that Arthur Morgan was going to be at the very top of this list. In our minds, nobody even came close. Before Red Dead Redemption 2 launched, everyone found it incredibly hard to believe that any character would be able to even come close to the beloved John Marston.
No, I think I've pushed all I can. Come on, you go.
We ain't got time for this, not now.
The fact that Arthur Morgan did far more than that still surprises us. Roger Clark's unforgettable performance and Rockstar's masterful writing came together and gave us a character that we'll never forget. His struggles, his personal narrative arc, his tragic fate, his friendships and rivalries, all of it instantly turned him into one of the brightest highlights in a game that was full of them. Even people who don't particularly enjoy Red Dead 2's gameplay, and there's no shortage of such people, will tell you that Arthur Morgan is one of the best protagonists in games to date. On that, everyone agrees. It's impossible not to. So what are your thoughts on this? Go ahead and share them in the comments below. And if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon to get new video updates. We upload every day and would really appreciate your support. Thanks for watching.